Have you ever wondered just how many different eukaryotic species there are? Well, there are 8.7 million different species, and more are being discovered every day. So how did this crazy diversity come to be? Well, the process that gave rise to this diversity is called evolution. What is evolution? Evolution is change over time. Evolution is change in the inherited characteristics of a population through generations. These changes occur through mutations in genes, but these mutations must be selected for. Natural selection is when individuals with the most fitting traits will survive and reproduce the most within their population, hence passing on their fit genes and mutations to the next generation. Who was Charles Darwin? He lived from 1809 to 1882 and was an English naturalist. He was very interested in evolution and the relationships between different species. He traveled to the Galapagos Islands in 1835 and began to study finches. He noticed that the finches on the mainland and the finches on the island were overall very similar but had slightly different variations of certain traits. He wondered how this could be. Working from these observations and the theories of scientists before him, Darwin deduced the process of evolution by natural selection. Evidence for evolution. There are four main pieces of evidence to support evolution. The first is fossils. Fossils provide a snapshot of ancient species. These snapshots can show change over time. We can then compare species of the present with species that are now extinct. For example, scientists are better able to understand the evolution of dinosaurs to birds by looking at fossils. Comparative anatomy. This shows which species have homologous structures and therefore share a common ancestor. Embryology. Development of certain species before birth can show how closely they are related to each other. The more they look alike later on in their embryological development, the more closely related they are. DNA. If two species share a recent common ancestor, they will have more similar DNA. If two species do not share a recent common ancestor, there will have been more time for mutations to arise, therefore their DNA will be less similar. But don't get the wrong impression. Lamarck's evolution. Lamarck believed that acquired traits were passed on from parent to offspring. Like if a giraffe tried really hard to strengthen and lengthen its neck, its child would have a longer and stronger neck. This is incorrect because evolution is not about acquired traits, but rather inherited traits. Pop culture's version of evolution. Why it's wrong. This idea does not suggest branch lineage, it implies direct lineage. That humans came from monkeys who came from smaller mammals, which is just not true. Though all living things share a common ancestor, evolution is not a straight line of descent. It also suggests that evolution happens within an individual, but evolution is within an entire population. So that's evolution in a nutshell.